George Kilpatrick Inspiration for the Nation, celebrating people we feel good about. Guess what's happening this weekend? Winter Fair. Yay! February 2nd, 3rd, and 4th at the Great New York State Fair. And we've got a lot to get to. We've got a great lineup of folks who are going to make a difference. We got some legends. We got history makers. We got all kinds of folk up in here today. First of all, Steve Becker, the brainchild of Winter Fair from Premier Promotions, is in the house. Patty Mussi, she is the CEO of Legends Athletics. She's got a great story to tell. We'll hear from her. Dr. Shanelle Dawson is the president, CEO of Access Global Group, Gain Access. And of course, we have Syracuse legend, John Wallace. Also, John just got an award last fall. What did you get? What was the award, John? Distinction, Letterman, something?
Letter of distinction from Syracuse. As you know, one of the highest awards you can achieve. So being a fellow alum like yourself, it's something that I truly respect and appreciate.
So good to see John, and we'll find out more about what John's going to be doing, because you'll get to meet John at the Winter Fair. And by the way, one of the things that John that I hold close, he is a former Knickerbocker, former New York Knicks. I know Orange, but I gotta say I bleed the blue and the orange, for real.
No doubt.
Yeah.
Die-hard Knicks fan, and so John, thank you for that contribution, because I do appreciate that. I do appreciate that, as well as the work at the Orange. All right, so Steve, tell us what's going on at Winter Fair and how all of these great folks, we get to meet all these great folks. Let's hear from you. Let's start.
Sure,
off.
It's going to be our 5th edition. And it was an idea that I came up with. There's a lot of outdoor things to do during the winter, but, I came up with the idea of, let's do some summer fun in the winter. That expo center is the largest facility outside of New York City between Boston and Cleveland. We put midway rides in there. You get the pizza freet and other food vendors, entertainment, vendors. We have ice sculptures on the outside, fireworks each night. It's just been great. We're going to have free parking from AmeriQ. I mean, we got some great sponsors, the McGuire cars, and we have Amazon that's going to be there. Verdi storage containers. It's an idea that came to me because when they built the expo center, they wanted to get events in there. And boy, that first year we had over 30,000 people come out. And so we have a lot of different things. We have like our hoops, where you can shoot baskets and win prizes. We have Irish dance competition between 3 Irish dance academies. There's something for everyone. It's for all ages. But it was interesting. I approached Patty about, getting involved with our winter hoop area. And then she came back and said, Steve, we have this NIL now, the name, image, likeness, that current players can, make money. But the legends from football, basketball, lacrosse could never make money. So merchandise is being created where, like Lawrence Moten, who will be out there, it just simply says poetry. And John, what does your merchandise say on there?
Come on, John. Let me hear it.
When the
John,
kiss in the house, oh my God.
Oh my
God.
And this was basically Patty and me working together, and she was able to bring in Shanelle to be a sponsor to help bring in some of these players. And we're just going to have a host of players that are going to be there. Why don't you, talk about it, Patty?
So when Steve had approached me, I was hesitant to do it at first, but then I actually reached out to the guys that belong to Legend Athletics. We did an event prior to this during COVID at the Dome, and it really, really went well. So we got the guys and girls together, and we did an event for CBT, which helped minority students. The funds from that basketball game helped minority students at the university. And that went really, really well. We had some great sponsorship. Gearing Tricot was the one that did all the shorts and apparel. Anchor Tough is the one that actually did the the apparel that the guys actually wore, during and after the game. So they team up together and made it happen with obviously Nike as well. So at that point in time, because there were so many restrictions, there wasn't much that we could do with these guys. And I felt that this was an opportunity to get these guys all together and be able to release their product and, and have a story behind it. They all have a story behind what each shirt represents. And that's what the panel is going to be each day. Friday, John and Lawrence are going to do a panel in reference to what their shirt represents and that story behind that. Saturday, we're going to have many other players coming on board to tell their story just of their experience at Syracuse University. And then we got the great Syracuse 8 with Michael Owens coming in for football and Rob Drummond on Sunday to talk about their undefeated season and also what the Syracuse 8 represents for Syracuse and the things that they went through. And we have the university backing us on this, lots of sponsorship as well. And I just felt that it was the right way to spin this off and get all of these guys' stuff out there.
And before I hear, and so a couple of things I want to say. So you said CBT, that's the Syracuse Coming Back Together reunion of Black and Latino alumni at Syracuse University, created by our very own Robert Hill in 1983. So that, just to give you some context for that. And also the creation, you work for Nike, but you created your own business. Why did you create Legend Athletics?
Well, this started well before COVID. As we know, Pearl is no longer with us, and we're going to be honoring him
Pearl
and his family. Yep. And I was very close to Pearl. So when all this was going on, I actually was a part of the Pearl shirt at Syracuse University, which in fact is the #1 selling shirt of all time for that university. And I was actually working, as I still do now, but was working with Nike, and we teamed up with the university to have a shirt for him to wear for the game because they knew most likely it would be the last game that he would attend because we knew that he was very sick. So that being said, I collaborated with the licensing department, and we came up with the Pearl shirt. And we obviously put it on the players as well as Pearl to surprise Pearl, and it just spun off like no one would ever had imagined. So that's how it started. And I knew NIL was going to be a thing because on the Nike side, there was a lot of negotiation and talk about the fact that NIL was going to exist. And I figured, let's start the company now. And when it happens, I'm able to bring these guys on board and to be able to work with our former athletes.
That's beautiful. And so, and I'm going to get to Dr. Shanelle Dawson in a minute, because one of the reasons why many of the legends are going to be there is because of her as well. So John, what is the story behind John Wallace, of course, former Orange great? What is the story behind, and I don't know, were you an Orange man or were you an Orange back in the day? I'm not sure when it changed for you.
Orange man.
He was an Orange man back in the day,
Yeah.
before the Orange, because now it's just Orange, but Orange man. So, John, first of all, what does it mean for you to be a part of this?
Well, first of all, I want to thank Shanelle as being a minority sponsor and stepping up to the plate immediately. Thank you so much. We all appreciate your contribution and being a part of this from a sponsorship standpoint. Thank you. We truly, truly appreciate it. But this like when Patty approached me about it, it was a no-brainer because, you know, the Q's in the house, I'm the first person to say that, right? And I started saying it in 1995 after we beat Arizona in Arizona. And it was basically saying, like, when we're on the road, the Q's is still in the house. You know, it doesn't matter where we at. You know, wherever we are, the Q's is there. And we travel well. So it had like a double entendre, you know what I mean? Like in terms of us going to be in there beating up on you, winning the games, and we're going to have all the fans in there screaming, "Let's go Q's, let's go Orange" after a while, you know? So it took off after the final four run we made. I mean, I was saying it in 95 and I was saying it here and there, but like once we had some TV announcers saying it and guys, you know, dancing and, you know, after the game who probably should never dance, but they were still dancing through it. but it was just an incredible time, and it's something that I'll always be connected to the Cuse because of, in terms of the Cuse in house. It's like this esoteric meaning. Like as soon as I say the Cuse in house, everyone else finishes, "Oh my God!" It's just what we do.
I want to go to, "Oh my God, it's danger," but do we do that too? Or do we just stop right there? Come on, John. So, but by the way, John, first year coach Adrian Autry, how you feeling about him?
I love what the culture he's creating up at Syracuse, and the guys he's recruiting and he's going to have coming in soon. I love everything that Red is doing right now. He's taking some tough losses, but those losses make you better in the end. He's got Donnie Freeman, who just was named McDonald's All-American. So he's our first McDonald's All-American since Malachi Richardson in 2015. Because Darius Baisley, who was a McDonald's All-American, never played at Cuse. He went right to the NBA. So Red's already, in terms of recruiting, he's already got it on fire. I mean, having McDonald's All-American coming in your first year is a pretty big hit. The other kid, Elijah Moore, who's really good. He's like a top 60 player down in New York City. He's going to be really good for us. So in terms of how good we're going to be, the future's looking really bright for us. And the guys right now just got to keep fighting. Tough loss last night to Florida State. First loss at home. So we got to, get back to defending our home court. We got a couple more home games coming up, and hopefully those guys can pull it off.
Yeah, hopefully. And Dr. Shanelle Dawson, you are also one of the sponsors. Why this was pitched to you? Why did you say yes immediately? Or was it immediately?
I did. I actually said yes immediately, but I have to tell you, I remember, I'm from Southern California, but I remember when the Cuses in the house, "Oh my God," was out there. I would be at a party and we'd hear that. And we were like, "Oh yeah, no, oh my God," And so I want you to know that we heard it on the West Coast. And we were about it. But I met Patty back in November of 2022. I think that's when we kind of had our connection. And, when you meet someone like Patty, you're like, okay, I rock with this. I can do this. I can do this. But then when she brings something to you that you believe in, I was a student athlete. I played basketball.
Okay.
There's a reason why I have all this height, and when it came to supporting the legends, with NIL, this is something that I believe was long coming. I think that they should be able to benefit off of it right now. I think about the number of times I've said the Cuse is in the house, the number of times that I said poetry in Moton. And so I said, no, this is something I want to get behind because I understand what it means to be a student athlete. And I also know what it means to be a student who has very few resources, but is filling the stadiums, the domes, the stands as an athlete. And so when Patty approached me, of course, tell me what I need to do. Tell me where you need me at. I am there.
Awesome. And I'm sure, and as John mentioned earlier, appreciative of your support of the legends. And it's a new day, right, for athletes with name, image, and likeness. John, I know you're like, wait, what happened?
Well, the NCAA couldn't keep all the money forever. I mean, they had to start divvying it up. So I just think it's a beautiful thing, and I hope every athlete is able to take advantage of it, in terms of whatever money should be coming their way. I hope they get every dollar because, for every athlete who was supposed to make it and didn't make it, for every athlete who had to deal with injuries, for every athlete that, just had something going on at home and, just couldn't stay in school. Like, it's tough, man, because so much is expected of you because you are a student athlete. But if you don't fulfill people's dreams, now you, but if people, what people expect from you, then you kind of, you know, see yourself as a failure. But when you come in and you got money immediately, it helps with your confidence, and it helps with your bank account. Which, you know, at the end of the day, I don't care what anyone says. Having more money in your bank account is always a good thing.
Right.
And
So, you know, go ahead.
And are you able to then, because you didn't have NIL back in the day, are you able to now, because of, you know, the business Patty's created, are you able to, like, can you go retro and say now all of the stuff from before I can now take advantage of, or it has to be based on now where you are?
Yeah, see, I have no interest in trying to go after anyone, or I'm my energy is good. I wake up in a good mood every
Right.
single day.
Mm-hmm.
Not chasing anything. I
Mm-hmm.
just want to, you know, create something that I think can be a beautiful thing up on the campus, because everyone who played up at Syracuse, you know, no matter what your role was, we played a part in building what they have there now.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have an opportunity to be able to go back and take advantage of the hard work, sweat, and tears that you put into that university, then I think you should. And that's all we're doing. And Rachel Duffy's been extremely helpful in everything. She's the head of licensing for Syracuse, and she's been on board from day one with everything. And you know, she's the reason why I've had my jersey up there selling for 4 or 5 years already. So it's just another opportunity for a former athlete. Syracuse, me personally, they afforded me a bunch of opportunities from a financial standpoint that's helped me out tremendously over the years. So I have nothing but love for Syracuse, and always will. I bleed orange, baby.
And you're also doing some work in the community as well?
Yeah, I've been in every community that I'm, you know, wherever I kind of like. Syracuse is my second home. First home is Rochester. Then I would say my pro home is New York City. So with those three bases right there, I'm well covered. And working for the Knicks, doing all
State of
kind
New York,
of
the state.
charitable events all over New York City in the 5 boroughs, like every week, pretty much, as a part of what I've been doing with the New York Knicks. So I'm very, very blessed to be in this situation, in this position.
Well, you can see John and many of the athletes at the Syracuse Winter Fair. These legend athletes. The other group that we wanted to also mention, and Patty mentioned this briefly, the Syracuse 8, obviously, the football players who protested discrimination on campus and took a stand and have been recognized. Documentary about that. Check that out. But all that's part of the Winter Fair. NYSWinterfair.com. Patty, Steve, Shanelle, Dr. Shanelle Dawson, but Shanelle, all here to really help to put on a great event. As with any event in Syracuse, there will be fireworks. Yes, there will be fireworks. What night will there be fireworks?
Friday,
Steve?
Saturday night, 8:45 from Onondaga County. They've been so supportive, and we want to thank all the support that we've received. We care about the community, and we have been giving back. NAACP, they man our coat check, and they get half the proceeds. Boys and Girls Club, we raised money with the hoops area. I gave them a check for $5,000, and a percentage of some of the sales from the athletes will also go back to Boys and Girls Club.
Yep.
And we also are very diverse too, George. We're on Sunday.
Okay.
We have a Black History Month celebration.
Wonderful.
We have a group out of Sudan. We're going to have a urban fashion show with L.S. Jones. We will have the players doing a panel. Then we have a gospel choir that is coordinated by Cora Thomas. You know Cora.
Yes.
And then we'll also be doing some African drumming, and we wrap it up with brown skin. So there's a lot for everybody.
No
And
doubt.
now, you know
We'll
what?
have, and the other plays that we're going to have are Billy and Michael Owen said that they're coming in. We wish we could have had Rodney Dumpson. He couldn't come in, who was 3-time national championship for lacrosse. You know, we have these players coming in. Scoop Jardine's coming back. Damone Brown. Eric Devendorf is even going to be a part of it. So we've got a lot of guys coming back to support the Boys and Girls Club, and that's most important. That's why these guys are backing this. So even though it's part of the NIL, the most important thing is what the proceeds benefit. And all these guys are partners of some have some type of partnership with the Boys and Girls Club, and also have been members growing up at the Boys and Girls Club. So we really definitely need to make sure that we focus on that, because the most important thing is that they're giving back to, you know, although it's for Central New York, they are members or current or former members of these Boys and Girls Clubs growing up, you know, in the entire time that they were obviously playing sports. So I thought that, you know, that should be noted.
All right, let's do this. What are the hours of Winter Fair, Steve?
Friday, it'll run from 3 to 9,
Mhm.
Saturday from 11 to 9, and then Sunday from 11 to 5. Now, if you get there a little bit early, we'll start letting people in about a half hour early, but there's just going to be so much to see and do.
And is it free to get in?
No, there is a fee. You can see the fee that is right online at nyswinterfair.com. Advanced tickets on sale right now, $5 with a small fee for adults. Seniors and teens are only $3. Kids 10 and under free. And at the box office, if you don't get the advanced ticket, $7 for adults, no fee.
All right.
$5 for seniors and teens. And again, kids 10 and under free.
All right, so $5 or $7. It's a great time. It's a great weekend. This weekend coming up, it's February 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. It's the New York State. It's the Winter Fair at the Great New York State Fair, nyswinterfair.com. We had an all-star panel right here. You'll meet John Wallace and many other legends. 2 panels over the weekend. Check them out. So we want to thank our very own legend, John Wallace, for joining us, Dr. Shanelle Dawson, of course, Patty Mussi, and the architect of all of this, Mr. Steve Becker. nyswinterfair.com is where you get all the information. It's going to be a great weekend, folks. You know what we do in February. It's the doldrums, baby. So get out there and have a good time with the New York State Fair, at the exhibition. What's it called? What's it called, Steve?
Expo Center.
Expo Center. At the Expo Center. And it's going to be a great time. Listen, you guys, it's been great visiting with you all. And I wish you all a great, great rest of your day. And let's see you at the Winter Fair, nyswinterfair.com. Inspiration for the nation.
Thank you.
Yeah.